So guys, we're finally back in Season 3, and the reason we're visiting Season 3 in today's video is because there's a bunch of scrapped items that Epic Games just got rid of, and most of these are only available in Season 3. Now you guys can see here how many items we do have. There's literally all of these items that we're going to be showing you in today's video. And just to give you an example of what to expect, let's use this random item over here and let's see what happens. So you can see I've thrown it down, and now you can see that a massive balloon's just appeared out of nowhere. So I'm going to be showcasing all of these items in today's video. Most of you guys have probably never seen any of these before, and there's a bunch more that we can try in other seasons, so make sure you subscribe if you don't want to miss out on that in the future. So most of you guys can probably remember when Epic Games first added the Grapple Gun to Fortnite. Now the first ever version of the Grapple Gun was actually this one here, and this is an unreleased weapon. They never actually released this version, and you're going to see why right now. So you can see in my inventory, it's just got this weird logo here. It's not got any description or anything, and you're going to see that the animations are so plain. So they've basically added no animations to this, and this was like the first test of the Grapple Gun. So we're going to throw it over here, and you can see that it does teleport us, but our character has no animation or anything. So we literally just float up with no animation whatsoever. So it is kind of cool, and the only thing that I do prefer about this one is the fact that it's a throwable item. It's not actually a grapple gun or anything, and I'm not sure how good the range is on it. Let's try and throw it over here. So you kind of throw it like how you do with just a grenade or something, and it does go quite far. So I feel like there's not really any limit on the distance. There may be, but I'm not 100% sure. So as I mentioned earlier, all of the items that I'm showing in today's video were actually scrapped from the game. There's some that are still in the game files, but I'd say about 90% of the items I show in today's video have actually been removed and are only available in Season 3. Now this one here is called the supply drop signal. You can see it's a consumable, and it's actually a legendary item. Now when we pick it up, you can see inside of our inventory how cool this looks. It literally shows the supply drop, and it even has a description on this one. You can see that it says throw signal to mark the location for supply drop, and that's exactly what it does. So again, it is a throwable, but when we throw it, you can see that it just spawns a supply drop, and if we look up, it does actually work. So this is such a good concept for an item, and I'm really surprised Epic Games never added this to the game. This is like the most stereotypical item that Epic Games used to add back in the day, and I just really hope one day they actually add this back. So obviously in the current version of Fortnite, there's a bunch of mythic items. However, back in Chapter 1, there wasn't really any. There's a few later on in Season 7 and things like that, but the first ever one that Epic Games are actually working on seems to be this one here. So this does count as a battle royale item, and it's called the Mimic Bomb. And when we pick it up, you can see that inside of our inventory, it shows up as a chest icon. You can see that it's got the same type of pattern as all the other consumables that they had back in Season 3 or Season 2. And again, there's no description for this, but you can see that it is mythic. And one of the coolest things about this unreleased item is that they did actually put quite a lot of effort into it. So we're going to place it down now. You can see that there's an animation of us putting it down, and there's also like a weird radius animation. And you're going to see once we hit it, it will explode. That's still a really interesting item, and I just love the animation when you place it down. How cool is that? So believe it or not, I've not even shown any of the insane unreleased items yet, and I'm going to show the first one right here. This is one of my favorites. So it's called the Golden Ticket. It's a legendary item, and you can see that it just looks like it's candy or something. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but once we pick it up, you're going to see that it shows a battle bus inside of our inventory. Now you must be wondering what that means, and you're going to see in just a second. But what this is a really good concept of an item that Epic Games really should have added to the game. So we're just going to use it. You can see it has a countdown, and you're going to see how cool this is in a second. So it makes us do this animation, and we spawned on top of a battle bus. So how mad is that? We're literally on our own personal battle bus, and then it just despawns. And I'm pretty sure it's just supposed to be an easy way to transport yourself around the map. Now I just can't get over how cool this item is, and I'm just surprised this has never made its way to the game. How cool is that? You can even jump off if you want to, and it's such a shame that Epic Games stopped working on this item. Now with a lot of these scrapped items, a lot of them seem to be consumables, and they mess with the physics of the game. This one's no exception, and you can see inside of our inventory, it shows up as this weird thing. I'm pretty sure this logo is from Save the World or something, and the actual model of the item is. However, the actual item itself isn't. They basically just use old models when they're testing items that haven't been released yet. And you're going to see when we throw this one, it does something really cool that you guys have probably never seen before. So it's called the slow grenade, and if we go inside of this radius, you can see it makes a slow motion. Now our pickaxe is even slow motion and everything, so I'm guessing if we used weapons, that would also be slow motion. So it's basically like the storm flip or something, but just for slow motion. So you're going to see once we enter it, we just go slow motion again. And this is one of those items I'm just so confused Epic Games never actually added to the game. So here we go, guys. This item here is called Big Poppy, and this is one of the best scrapped items. It makes no sense, but it's just so funny. And I actually showed this on Twitter earlier today. So if you guys are interested in old Fortnite and you just like to see some random posts of some unreleased items items I've not shown yet, make sure you follow me on Twitter because I will be posting on there quite a lot. We also recently got verified, so I'm really happy about that. So you can see inside of our inventory, it has no description again, but it shows a balloon. So the reason it shows this is because it's basically a massive balloon. When we throw it down, you can see that out of nowhere, it's just going to explode, and it makes this really loud, irritating noise. And you can see that it just inflates and then it just explodes. So that's why it's called Big Poppy. It's kind of a cringe name, but it's just supposed to be a joke, I guess. And I really don't see the point in it. And one of the coolest things about this item is that you can actually stand on it. We're going to throw it right underneath us and we're going to jump just before it explodes. So here we go. And how cool is that? We've actually stood on top of it and it actually interacts with our player. And it's such a shame that they removed it from the game files. Now there seems to be a theme with all of these unreleased items. A lot of them seem to be throwable items or just consumables. And this one is no different. You can see that it's called the beehive grenade. And when we pick it up, it actually shows a bee inside of the inventory. So that's another common theme as well. They all seem to have the same types of logos. But with this item, it's actually really interesting. And you're going to see once we throw it down, it actually shows a beehive. Now, when we go close to it, you may not be able to hear it in the video, but we can actually hear bees. The weird thing is there's no bees flying around or anything. So I'm guessing they just never added that because it obviously was a developer item and it wasn't meant to be in the game just yet. This item actually does do damage, and I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like the stink grenades. And I'm going to tell you why now. You can see that this has just landed. We're going to hit it once so you can see how much health it has. And once we throw the beehive on it, even though it doesn't look like it's doing anything, you can see that the health is actually going down quite a lot. I'm guessing this is just like a really early version of the stink grenades. And instead of having the beehive, they changed it to the stink grenade later on in the later seasons. So this here is another consumable. And this one's actually really weird. It's called energy crystals. And once we use it, it's going to make our character slow motion. So it shows us drinking it. And now you can see that we're slow motion once again. So it's kind of like the slow motion bomb, but this one's a consumable. And I feel like they're just experimenting with a lot of consumable items that they plan to add to the game. And obviously later on in the seasons, we did see them add stuff inside of season 4. But thinking about it now, I don't really see the point in it. It's probably less helpful. So that is probably a reason they scrapped it, because it probably made no sense to have it in the game. Now here's where we get to an item that isn't just a consumable. You can see that this one here is called the airstrike laser. It does actually use the same model from an item inside of Save the World. However, this is actually labeled as a battle royale item and it was never added to the game. You can see once we pick it up, it has a massive laser attached to it. We load it up and it makes the same noise as the Zapatron. And once the laser goes red, we can then shoot it and it shoots out a little laser. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. And now you're going to see that it shoots airstrikes. So yeah, that is kind of cool. And this is like a really early version of the airstrike grenades or whatever they were called. And there's also another item here and I don't even know how to pronounce that. And this may also be in Save the World, but this was meant for Battle Royale. But I don't think this is in Save the World. And you can see once we shoot it, it just shoots a big rocket and then it just sticks there and it explodes. So there's quite a few more unreleased and scrapped items I've not been able to show you guys yet. There's a few like this, which were actually in season 1 and they've just been modified. So you can see that it's kind of like a torch and they do have this in creative, but obviously it's not the same thing, but they have the same type of design. But obviously with this, I have no idea what the point of it is. You can see that it does stick to walls. And there's some that I'm not able to show you guys in today's video because it does require me to be in a different season, such as season 2 or season 4 or something like that. So if you want me to do more videos like this, make sure to give this video a like so I know, and I will show you more unreleased and scrapped items in the future. A huge shout out to Rift for making it possible to load into old seasons, and make sure to follow me on Twitter if you want to keep up to date in between uploads. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.